Call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Lou, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Gray Eyes, fill my eyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near, and the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft door dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the park, sink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light, in the yard, a seduction walks soft through the smoke, silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke, books and bards, wakes dust in the depth of the shelves, old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen, up the ache gets a voice, pain stands up street and makes silence a choice, then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink, but the pulse says pray, echoes in the dark, go hunt the fear, that thing when no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart, and rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. This is pulse with the pen, this is blood with the nickel, this is breath to the backbone, ink with the crown, live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all love in the dark, a room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft door dim. wanting more. Late night poets, when the clock slips past polite, we tell the truth. L&P, we love you. Stay frosty.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Twisted Tuesdays with the Twisted Sisters. And you never know, maybe a Twisted Mister or two. Hope everyone's having a great week so far, and I hope you all have a better week to follow. Hey Pam, what's happening?
Hey, Jean. Oh, not much. We had another hot day today. Felt even hotter because I was out walking in the right around noon when the sun is like at the high point. But all in all, it was a good day. Felt productive. Got some poetry read. You know, all is good. How about yourself? How's it going with you?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good.
Good,
Kind of a
good.
busy afternoon. Kind of a lazy day and a busy afternoon. I can do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Trying to have a
Oh,
chance of getting it right. Oh
Oh,
my
I can
goodness.
totally appreciate that.
And I have to say hello to Julie Buck. Welcome aboard. It's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see her. Yes, I'm
Yes,
glad to.
absolutely. Yes, you are. Ah, there she goes. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it was a good day. I made a good dinner, so life is great, right? That's the way I feel
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
My daughter was here like she is every Friday, or every Friday. Oh my God, every Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. Oh, or I forgot just that quick. I put it that way. But so I liked it. We had decent temperatures today. 77. I liked it. 72 right now. We're supposed to get down to I think 54 or something, which is totally tolerable for me. So that's my kind of day. Of course, that never lasts very long. Look, Robbie put his weather up already, 20ish Celsius. So we're not. Well, Pam might know how to figure that out. I do not, and I cannot leave the page to do that. So
Yeah,
20,
that's right around 70, between 70 and 73.
nice,
So, well,
nice.
yep.
Monty says it's 58 there in the world of Down Under. I don't know where in Down Under he is, but he's down under. Um, but it's close enough. And Jojo, Julie, what we got? Anybody want to report on the weather? Perth. He's in Perth. It was 58 degrees in Perth. There you go. Works for me.
Nice.
Yes, yes. Part of me is jealous, and the other part of me says, "Nah, I'm doing Oz. Too many crazy creatures." And that's not counting the people. I just saying. I'm only kidding, Mom. Only kidding. So yeah. So I don't know. Uh, he says, "Ouch." I'm only kidding, Monty. I'm only kidding. Oh my gosh. So yeah. So Julie, what's your weather? Tell us all about it. I know I'm a pain in the butt. Well, right now, just type from right now. If I don't put you on the stage, we can't hear you. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? And I haven't gotten to that point yet. Mm-hmm. Hot and humid. And where's that at, Julie? Where's Julie at, Pam? Do you know?
I'm thinking somewhere down south. I have no clue.
She's guessing. Pam was guessing. Oh my goodness. Well, hot and humid works. Julie's somewhere in the U.S. of A. That's the only thing I know. And Corpus Christi.
Okay.
Corpus
Corpus
Christi.
Christi, Texas.
At least she didn't say it was 200 degrees. That's pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No seasons in Corpus Christi. Oh my gosh. Well, that just means it's hot all the time in my book. And Jojo, what's the weather there? Well, can hold off for that one. Um, was it a red leaf, Mama? Huh? Oh, I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to pretend. Um, yeah, so we have indoors all day. I go for that. I only know because I opened the door to let the dog out. I let her run around the backyard. Now you all know who let the dog out. It was me. Um, but yeah. So Pam, tell us about the show tonight. What's
All right. Well, tonight we are going to delve into poetry, inspired by Dora Carrington, who actually went from her time as an art student. She was known simply by her surname, uh, Carrington, as she considered Dora to be vulgar and sentimental. She was not a well known painter of her lifetime, as she rarely exhibited and did not sign her work. Um, she was born on March 29th, 1893, and died sadly at March 11th, 1932, at the age of 38, from suicide. She committed suicide, sadly, with a gun that she borrowed from a friend. Um, so she was not a member of, but had an association with members of the Bloomberg Group, which her closest relationship was with the writer Lytton Strachey. Another famous member of that group was Victoria. Why am I blanking out? Oh, Virginia Woolf. Sorry, wrong name. Virginia Woolf. She she has like she was considered ahead of her time for her artwork. A lot of it, especially her landscapes, delved into kind of a surrealism look. It's interesting to me to look at her artwork. Her use of muted color, how sometimes it's like she's just capturing everyday life, and sometimes, especially with her landscape, as it seems like she delves in to surrealism. And definitely artwork worth studying, worth looking at. It is very sad that, during her lifetime, she was more known for her association with Virginia Woolf and Lytton Strachey and other members, rather than for her individual talent. She wore a cropped page boy hairstyle long before it was even fashionable. In fact, in June 1918, Virginia Woolf wrote of Carrington in her diary, "She is odd from her mixture of restless and active, but she is such a bustling, eager creature, so red and solid, and at the same time inquisitive, that one can't help liking her." And she lived an interesting life. That is for sure. She lived an interesting life. She seemed to be a person of great observations, great curiosity, and like so many sadly, like so many creative people, it's her life ended very tragically. And but tonight we are going to be getting into some really beautifully written poetry inspired by her artwork.
right? Now JoJo said that her work can be seen on MPG. I do not know what MPG is, so I don't want to lie. But that's just in case anybody's curious or interested. Um,
I
National
National
Portrait
Poetry.
Gallery.
Okay, it's a Smithsonian. Okay, cool. That
Thanks,
is
JoJo.
really good to know. That is really good to know. Thank you, Jojo. Yeah, I appreciate that kind of information. I just happened to stumble across her work. Well, how I usually stumble across people. searching art and
Right. Right.
online, and it just grabbed my attention.
I get it.
Um,
It's
and
nice.
she seemed like a very interesting character, for sure.
Yes. 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 What do we have here? Oh, let's see. One of the Smithsonian Institutes. Sometimes I shoot Pam at YouTube as well. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Robbie. Yeah, we never know where we'll find wonderful
Yep,
pieces.
yep. One never knows where they'll find inspiration.
Oh,
Sometimes
exactly.
it's YouTube, sometimes it's just searching around on the internet. You know,
Welcome
you
back,
just,
Robbie. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a shame,
yes,
though, to
I
lose.
have to agree, Jojo. She was definitely, from what I've read, and I need to read more about her. I need to read more, and I need to, probably watch a video on her, but she definitely seemed very interesting. In fact, like,
Right.
one of the things that grabbed my attention about one of the prompts I put up was actually the header image was a self-portrait she did of herself, in which she's actually wearing a pair of pants, which wearing pants for women in that time period was not common. It was definitely a bold statement. So
Right. 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 Um, what was I going to say just then? Oh, let's see. Robbie, did you want to call in? He says yes or no. Second hour. Okay. Jojo, did you want to call in?
second hour.
Okay. And Monty does not have his devices connected. And Julie, did you want to call in? Okay. I'm going to bring you on. Just be patient because we never know what's going to happen. You don't have to call. I'm going to pick you up right now. Keep your camera off. Don't get exciting. We're excited. Here we go. Hello,
Okay.
Julie.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We're doing fine, thanks. Good to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you. It's good to hear all of you guys. I have just been so afraid that I don't know what I'm doing since y'all switched to the
Oh,
Podbean, but
well,
apparently I got there all by my little self.
hell, we don't know what the
So,
hell we're doing either. Don't be bashful. You know,
oh,
we wing it every night.
that's why I love you guys because you do ad lib a lot and things pop up and you get the unexpected when you're live. So it's scary, but y'all seem so used to it. So
Well,
bravo,
Julie, we've
bravo.
been doing this. Julie, we have been doing this for 10 years. Our
How
10th,
do y'all how
our
can you
10th
commit to
anniversary.
it?
Our
Well,
10th,
congrats.
our
I
10th
mean,
anniversary is in June.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
So,
congrats. I don't know
so
how you stay committed. I'd have to be committed if I was doing
well,
this all the
who's to say we haven't been committed? We might all be
It was
working right out of the same psych unit. You never know with us.
right.
See, this is the internet.
time.
Ah,
Y'all are
just
funny.
kidding.
Y'all are funny.
Ah,
Awesome.
I'm just kidding. I don't mean any
I
disrespect.
feel like if we ever do get committed, they'll give us a group
Right?
discount in the mental ward.
They might. They very well might. But you can't count on the health benefits from this company that we're working with. You can bet on that. Ah, just kidding. I'm so
Oh,
bad.
maybe let's stay out of that one.
Oh
Oh,
my
it's
God, we're just not
hilarious.
well. We are just not well.
Well, who would
So
be to be here
I
on
know.
this site? I've been here for I just hit my 15th anniversary on AP.
Nice.
And like I had a bigger following 12 years ago than I do now. It's like I'm climbing down the corporate ladder.
Uh,
It's changed so much over the years with the people and the way people don't comment as much as they used to be so supportive back in the 15 years ago. But it's just a different AP, you know, to me. Wow. Did I say something wrong?
No, sorry, no.
no, I had to mute myself, Julie. Don't pay attention to that.
Okay.
Just the way it
Well,
happens sometimes.
yeah. And who is there? Is this
Right
Jean?
now
Who
it's just
is
Pam
there?
and Jean. Phil. Phil my eyes and Pam Ray.
Pam and Jean.
That's
Okay.
us.
There I see y'all. Pam and Jean. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, to me, it's changed a lot over the years. At one
Oh
point,
yeah.
it was basically a pickup joint. When I first joined, everybody was, you know, all the dudes were flirting with the girls. It was like a pickup joint, like a dating site. And I thought, what am I getting myself into? And it's just changed over the years. Y'all know that.
Right. Yep. Yep.
It's
Yep.
I'm not, but it's still fun. And if you love poetry, I can't think of a better
Oh,
site.
Oh, I can't find a better place.
absolutely.
I looked. I looked all over before I came here.
And you know what? Loving poetry today isn't a common thing for most people, unfortunately.
See.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. But it is okay. We're a dying breed, but well, maybe not. They say it's coming. Taking
It
it.
is
Wow.
it's making
They're making
a
a comeback,
comeback.
but who knows?
Yeah, but
But we'll see. But we're hanging in.
it's
You
just
know,
something people did back
we're
when there
brave.
was
Right.
okay.
Right. Ah.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, by the way, Jean, just so you know, Monty was a psych nurse, so he's offering his services if we need any help.
Hey, Monty, I worked in long-term care. Uh-huh. I get it. Yes,
One
sir.
size fits all.
Ah. In fact, when I first started at the long-term care facility, they had shut down this one of our main mental hospitals local to us. And what they were doing was anyone that was over a certain age they sent to the facilities. So it was an experience. Yeah, I got it figured out too. It was scary. Well, some days it was scary. Most of the days I loved it. Oh, so yes. Anyway, I just had to throw that in there. What a tidbit. Mm-mm-mm. So Pam, I guess whenever you are ready, Julie, I'm not sure if that's you. Can you see if you can um check your mic settings and see if you can kind of hit a button or two? I'm not exactly sure what to recommend. I'm not sure if
Like
it's background or if it's just a reverb.
I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying you cannot hear me?
We can hear you, but you have a lot of like I don't know if it's background noise, but it's like what do we want to call it? Pam, what would you call it? Like a reverb?
Reverb, yeah.
But you have
Wow.
it. There's 3 buttons next to the microphone. If you click them, it may let you stop background noise, and that may be causing some of it. I'm not
Well,
sure. Are you on a phone or a computer?
no, I'm on a laptop. Yeah.
Okay, then you should be. Well,
I
hang on. Maybe I can do something. Hang on. Maybe I can do something. I wasn't.
okay. I see the icons that I clicked on one. I click on anything.
Let me see.
That's what gets me in
No,
trouble.
Yeah,
it's funny.
it should be an image of a microphone and an arrow next to it.
Right.
Yeah. There's an image of a microphone, and I click the arrow next to it. That's pointing down, and
Right.
then there's like a picture of a camera, like a old-fashioned video camera,
Yeah.
and an arrow pointing up.
No, there should be settings. Not exactly
Oh,
sure where.
settings, default microphone,
Microphone. That'd be the one.
communications. James, can you come look at this for a second?
Yeah.
I'm calling my kid in here real quick.
Backup
It
plan.
does say microphone. They said they're hearing a lot of like background noise. Can you check
I
on
don't know
that?
if it's background or if it's reverb, Julie.
Or it could be reverb. James, doesn't take you that long.
Yeah.
So if they said if I click on the microphone to default, there's a way I can get rid of reverb noise. How would I do that by that? Instead, I'd have to go into settings or hit that. Hit the microphone or something. I could make a phone call. Y'all still do phone calls? Like, is that what better? Like I said, I didn't even know there was a mic in this laptop.
Well, we'll just I don't know if you want to for now go ahead and put yourself on mute and then see if there's like where you can find where it says to cancel out background noise. Go ahead and click on that, and and that way we can go ahead and move forward with the poetry. And yeah, so
I clicked on the reduce background noise. How does it sound now?
I think it sounds better. What do you think, Jean?
La-di-da-di-da. I'm letting trying to
I
say
still hear it. When I put myself on mute, I still hear it. But I'm going to try and mute you, Pam, and see if I still hear it. Give me 1 second. Say something,
this is-
Julie.
it's a test run anyway, so just trying to see if it'll work for future endeavors. So just a test run.
Pam, I think it's like a Rex thing. I think that we need you to reboot, but
Sure, no problem.
Start first. We can do something while you're.
Yeah, I've put up the first poem, which is The Wavy Ocean by Deborah Maskey. And you go ahead, Jean, and give that a read, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, let me put up this poem and then I will read it.
Let it go.
Okay,
I'm gonna go.
Hang on, Julie. We're gonna start reading a poem, and Pam's gonna reboot. Okay, The Wavy Ocean by Deborah Maskey. Across the village lies the hills and valleys, and beyond them is a big blue ocean. Silence of the valleys, the mystic designs, are the Creator's creations that can be seen with the naked eye. Calm and gentle seems the sea as the boat sails across the ocean. A wind picks up its speed and rocks the little boat. The lighthouse flashes his light to warn the captain of the sailboat as its sails begin to turn towards the incoming winds, moving it towards the shore. The waves get stronger and bigger, forming a foam across the ocean, while the boat is bobbing on them. Dark is the night, and no bright light, except for the moon that is covered by the dark clouds. The captain holds the sails, trying to bring the boat into position, steering it towards land that can be seen at a distance. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. This is a beautiful, beautiful write by Deborah Maskey. There was actually several images that Carrington did of the ocean. This, I think, is what there tend to be, again, like her landscapes, very surreal looking. I only put up two because, while I love inspiration that's taken from bodies of water like the ocean, I wanted to offer up a variety. I thought this really had just this beautiful imagery, really thoughtful lines. I like how it brings us, I like how you don't see any people in the painting, but Deborah brings in the captain. She brings in this individual who's in charge, who's, staring off into the distance at where he needs to lead other people to. And I thought there were great lines throughout, but I do especially like that third stanza that starts with the waves get stronger and bigger, forming a foam across the ocean while the boat is bobbing on them, dark in the night and no bright light. Wonderful imagery and very well done. And Julie, your thoughts on The Wavy Ocean by Deborah Maskey.
Julie, you're on mute.
I'm looking at the, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I like
you sound fine.
Okay, I didn't get to listen to it all because I was still navigating, but I do like the way she ends the poem. That to me, an ending is always the crux of the poem, and the captain holds the sails, trying to bring the boat into position, steering it towards the land that can be seen in a distance. It kind of still leaves you wondering, did they make it? It just can be seen in a distance, but did they make it? Did they make it? It was kind of like leaving it up to the reader to decide. Sort of.
I like that. And, I have to agree because it is a cliffhanger ending. It is the idea that they see the land off in the distance, but we don't know if they made it there or not. So really cool observation there, Julie. Thank you. And Jean, your thoughts?
I thought that this was a great piece penned. Nice imagery and well done ekphrasic piece. Excellent take on the prompt. And I picked it up here, if I remember where that is, because we all know how I get. The waves get stronger and bigger, forming a foam across the ocean, while the boat is bobbing on them. Dark is the night and no bright light, except for the moon that is covered by the dark clouds. The captain holds the sails, trying to bring the boat in position, steering it towards the land that can be seen in the distance. I think that she has a lot of atmosphere in that part of the poem. But the image has a lot of atmosphere, color wise, and the deep dark night. The boats in the dark. Even the lighthouse way back in the distance. At least I believe it's a lighthouse. I don't see any lights, but that's okay. But I think it was very well done. So I want to thank you, Deborah Maskey, for sharing with us. I think you did a fine job with us.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree. Great comment, Jean. All right. Yeah. Wonderful inspiration taken from the artwork for sure. All right. Well, up next we have Take Me Away by Ed Hunter. And whenever you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us.
I get 2 in a row?
Oh, did you read the first one? Oh, you did, didn't you? Yes. Okay, never mind. That was good for you to question that.
I was like, wow, I'm popular.
Oh my gosh, never mind. I will go ahead and read this one. Okay. There is no time to hate because the grave is seen every day waiting for this body. And if life were not so malicious, I would be in complete war. Did I have time to love in this world? Did my life labor in love? I thought. It's better to care for humanity. I do smile, but cordially. Roaming the valley can be deep. It may be deadly. Yet society has flourished into an egotistical narcissist for many years. Poets and scholars have warned of the dangers to civilization, and nobody listened. Life can stand still like a loaded gun. Day and night may be hidden under the ashes of the earth. Identify the logistics and carry them away. End poem. This is an extremely strong write by Ed Hunter. That particular painting is actually a painting of the guy that she was really good friends with, which of course, how bad Lytton Strachey. That is actually a painting of Lytton Strachey, which forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But Jean, your thoughts on this write by Ed Hunter? Are you on mute, Jean? Or can I just not hear you?
Yeah.
No, I was on mute and I was halfway through that comment.
Okay. I'm sorry. I hesitate to say anything for fear that it's just me not hearing somebody at the moment.
It surprises me that you can't see the mute button on my image.
No, I can't. Or maybe I can. I never thought to look.
Yeah.
Nope.
I thought well, it's not on, Pam. Hello. You can't see something that ain't there, girlfriend.
Well,
I
I
thought,
thought the microphone might still be there.
yeah,
Sorry.
I think Ed did a fine job with this piece. A good take on the prompt, visual versus word. Um, and I liked it right from the beginning. There is no time to hate because the grave is seen every day, waiting for this body. And if life were not so malicious, I would be in complete war. Did I have time to love? In this world, did my life labor in love? I thought it's better to care for humanity. I do smile, but cordially, roaming the valley can be deep. It may be deadly. I think that there was, it carried like the same as the last piece. I think that it kind of carried the atmosphere of the image itself. The image here is very I don't know, it just carries a certain feel to it, a vibe. And I think that the poem carries that through as well. So well done, Ed, and thanks for sharing with us tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like how you brought the atmosphere of the right because I have to agree that that is definitely there. And that one part about I smile but cordially, how we sometimes just feel like obligated to smile and nod and be a nice person, but are we actually doing it because we feel it's the right thing to do or because we just feel this social obligation? So great comment. And Julie, your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I like that little stanza there too. There's a lot of caution in this poem. The person writing it feels caution. The character doesn't want to, roam in the valley can be deep, it may be deadly. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to dig too deep because you may not like what you find. He's already determined that the society has flourished into an egotistical narcissist, and life stands still like a loaded gun. There's a lot of tinted, like there's a lot of being cautious and tentative in this poem. Yet it seems to be contradicting with its fierceness, with its convictions. Yet it also carries a lot of caution with it. So it has a lot of doubt and power, a lot of affirmations, but a lot of questions. And the ending, identify the logistics and carry them away. What does that mean? What do you guys think that means? I don't understand that.
Right. I
I
don't
mean,
know for sure, but
once we identify the problem, we can just carry them away. Okay, I would, you know, I wish that it was like that. But
yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you,
it's a
Julie.
gorgeous,
I hear you.
it's a gorgeous poem. It's really beautiful. I mean, it's very,
And
very,
here's a
very
lot
Ab-
of good questions it raises.
absolutely. Absolutely. Great
But
comment there, Julie.
it can mean a lot to anybody depending on everybody's individual perception. That's another reason poetry rocks my world, because we may pick up on what he didn't want us to pick up on, but it's your perception, my perception, and it just has so many layers to it. That's another beautiful thing about poetry like this, where you can think about it in so many different layers. That's it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I have to agree. Yeah. For me and by the way, great observations there, Julie, on the poem. For me, identify the logistics and carry them away. I feel like to me speaks on the idea of logistics connecting with the idea of logic, and not just identifying the problems, but identifying the logical side and then allowing yourself to go beyond that. Like, yes, this is logical, but art and poetry isn't always about logic. um the I did think this definitely had strong, impactful lines. It was, as you said, Julie, a very poignant right. The line I was actually curious about, and was, and if life were not so malicious, I would be in complete war. Almost like the idea of somebody who wants to be in war. So that's a line that later on I'm going to have to kind of go through myself and kind of, think about it a little more. But I really like this. I like this all the way through, but it's the last couple of stanzas that really speak to me, especially on the idea. For many years, poets and scholars have warned of the dangers to civilization, and nobody listened. That to me is a particularly strong line and very well done by Ed Hunter.
That opening line, "There is no time to hate," is so gorgeous because it kind of contradicts the rest of what he says, but in a beautiful way. It's a beautiful poem. Any way you slice it, it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all are great commenters. Wonderful.
Don't tell
I,
anybody.
I don't know about that. Half the time I'm just going by the seat of my pants.
Winging it, but that's what makes it so much fun. If I had more time to study this poem, I'd probably have a better comment. But we're kind of all ad-libbing as we go. I mean, because we're just now reading. I'm just now reading this. I haven't really studied it or analyzed it, which I love to do line by line. Comments. Right. I could delve into each possible meaning of each line, but it's gorgeous. That's all I can say. Thank you, Ed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Pam, where are we headed?
All right. Well, up next we have Because I'm Old by Julie Buck. And of course, Julie, would you give that a read for us, please?
Yes, let me bring that up. Just 1 second. Okay. Because I'm old. Because I'm old, most folk, especially young'uns, think I have nothing to say. Because I'm old, the majority believe I'm just in the way. I'll tighten my lips, look you smack in the eye. Even then, I'm not here to comply. I'll twiddle my thumbs and rock in my chair. Because I'm old, I'm also sly. Live stupidly in young wisdom. I'm known to have advice. You spitfires have no recipe or spice. Because I'm old, what I've learned, I'll keep in my head. I'm old enough to know what to do, but age will take care of that. Eventually, you'll be dismissed too. Because I'm old, I'm no longer viable. Are you? End poem.
Nice read, Julie. Pam?
Did I lose y'all?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah. No, it would help if I took myself off mute. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. Great read and write there, Julie. I'm so glad you were inspired. And Jean, your thoughts?
I thought this was a great take on the prompt, Julie. I really do. She's sitting there so stern, the lips almost pursed. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. The image itself is she's so serious looking, kind of grouchy almost in appearance, and I think it captured some of her.
Anyway, so much for that.
Some of her attitude.
That's perfect.
What's that, huh? Julie, who are you talking to?
What is happening?
Yeah.
James, Julie. How come I can't hear them anymore?
Oh gosh. No.
Hello, did I lose you? Okay.
No, we're still here. Can you hear me now?
I don't know.
Well, I can hear you, Jean.
I know, but I'm trying to comment and Julie's trying to hear me and talk over me by doing it. She doesn't mean to. Okay. Let's see now. I think that it was a great take on the image. The woman looks very serious and very, almost grouchy. And I think she captured that in a lot of these lines. Because I'm old, most folk, especially youngins, think I have nothing to say. Because I'm old, the majority believe I'm just in the way. I'll tighten my lips, look you smack in the eye. Even then, I'm not here to comply. you know, you can kind of say, well, you know, she feels like nobody appreciates her. And I get that, you know, because
Are y'all
the image
there? Anyway,
shows her.
I'm gonna go. There's no audio. All right. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Julie. Okay. But I think she captured the feeling of the image itself. You know, the woman feels like she's not appreciated, that she's old. Um, you know, and I mean, I think I'd be kind of grouchy about that too. In fact, there are days I'm grouchy about that. You know, these youngins around here. But I do think it was well written and a nice capture of the prompt. And nice job, Julie Buck. And thank you for sharing with us. Hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment there, Jean. And you know, and definitely it connected, her right did connect
Absolutely.
really well.
Hmm.
You know, to the image, to the image. And you know, I did this image, like this old lady to me is such a character. Like it was something that I just absolutely had to put up to see what people got from her. I really like the flow of this. I like the first person narrative, how Julie writes in the voice of this older woman. Um, you know, and the I don't know, like I also like there's a message in this of, you know, that unfortunately the older you get, the less people listen to you, which is really sad because there's so many interesting stories that elderly people often have and so much tidbits of wisdom that they can share. And you know, I just thought there were great lines throughout. I did really like where it says, I'll twiddle my thumbs and rock in my chair because I'm old, I'm also sly. And where it says, because I'm old, what I've learned, I'll keep in my head. I'm old enough to know what to do, but age will take care of that eventually. You'll be dismissed too. Because I'm old, I'm no longer viable, are you? I mean, that ending really hits hard, you know, because this isn't just a woman who's grumpy because for no reason. She's grumpy because she's realized that society no longer values her. So absolutely an amazing write by Julie, and very well done. And I'm so glad that she was able to call in for a little bit and to join us and to read her poem. And I do hope that she comes back and joins us another time. You know,
Absolutely.
so
Takes a little while to
yes.
work out the kinks sometimes, but yeah, it was nice
Oh
to have
yes.
her
And
today. I think she called us once before on one of the other platforms. So,
yes, yes,
but
I
it was
do know
many,
I've
many,
had her
many
call.
moons ago. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was nice to
Yep.
see.
So, and I know as far as like anytime there's a new platform, you know, we all have to deal with those
Oh God,
little
yeah.
bumps and kinks.
Pam
Um,
Pam and I have jumped many a hurdle this time around. This time around has been a real
exactly.
challenge. A real challenge compared to the others. Oh, I mean, that's when I knew I was getting really old because I had no idea how this worked. But but yeah, so but that's okay. We get better as we go along, I think.
Oh, I agree.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's rough though. It is rough. Oh my goodness. Okay, Pam, where are we going?
Right up next, we have The Islands Imposing Sand Rocky Wall by Mustafa Hakan Seliker. And go ahead, please, Jean, and give that a read for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Pam. Let me put that link up and
Right.
back over here. And let's see. The Island's Imposing Sand Rocky Wall by Mustafa Hakan Seliker. I'm on the majestic shore of the island made of fine sandy rocky wall, in a corner of life, even though my majestic arms struggle like my past struggling with the waves in the blue eternity. Sky on my wings, and the happy face of smiling people in the shade of free meadows. End poem. I got nervous, Pam. I thought this was written in Turkish, and I was like, I have to beat her. I beat poor Pam to death. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I kind of figured like when you paused and you were like, I thought she thinks she has to
But
read Turkish.
well,
But
when you look at the link that went into LNP,
right.
that was not
Yep.
written in English, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have to hurt Pam." I
Yes.
did. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank goodness for English translations. I tell you though, all these years, there's one of my most moments that cracked me up the most when it was me and Naomi on a show, and she was reading a poem, I believe by this poet or somebody else who wrote in Turkish, but it was in such a way that it had the English, and then right below it was the Turkish,
uh,
and she read the English and then she started reading the Turkish, and I was so shocked. I went, Naomi, you read Turkish? And she goes, oh, wait, no, I don't. And her and I were both cracking
oh
up.
my God, I can imagine that. I could imagine. Oh, she was so
You know,
funny.
I was so impressed. I'm like, wow, French, English, and Turkish.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh. But no, I thought this was beautiful imagery. I have to look. I do not have a good memory for
It's
but I have to
yeah.
look at my own
It,
prompt. Aha, I see. Okay, it was not the one that the first Deborah Maskey wrote to. Yes,
yes.
I can definitely see that imagery there. Um, I like how it speaks on that combination, like that not combination, that connection between mankind and nature. Beautiful imagery. I really like where it says, I am on the majestic shore of the island made of fine, sandy, rocky wall in a corner of life, even though my majestic arms struggle like my past. I like that. The idea of the representation of the physical struggle being a representation of an emotional struggle. So beautifully written brevity and very well done. And your thoughts, Jean?
I think that this was a nicely done piece. Good imagery and a good take on the prompt as well. I think that Mustafa did a great job, and thank you for sharing. I would grab a piece, but it's short, and I would have to like pick the whole thing. So, in its entirety, I thought it was well done. So, thank you, Mustafa. Mm,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment.
mm.
All right. And up next, we have Contours of a Resting Earth by Gray0328. And it goes like this. She stretches across the horizon, skin creased with shadow and stone. Mountains swell like lungs, rising with quiet determination. Her chest tilts skyward, unapologetic, the peaks sharp as conviction. Each ridge whispers a story, etched deep into her curved spine. An Adam's apple juts proudly, a throat caught mid-breath as if the earth knows how to claim its voice. The valleys cradle sunlight, holding it like a secret lover. Her form is defiant and tender, a chaos rendered holy. Look closer. This terrain is not stillness. It is living poetry, sprawled and waiting to be read. End poem. Oh, what a beautifully written take on the chosen prompt by Gray0328. And your thoughts, Jean?
Oh, I have to agree with you, Pam. I think this is a wonderful take on the image. Definitely. His imagery throughout this whole piece is just divine. Um, I- Gosh, I'm looking to see where I want to grab it. I mean, I want to like take this and that, and oh yeah, and that too. And this is another one where I could not feel guilty if I just copied the whole thing and put it down in my comment. Her chest tilts skyward, unapologetic. The peak's sharp as conviction. Each ridge whispers a story, etched deep into her curved spine. An Adam's apple juts proudly, throat caught mid-breath, as if the earth knows how to claim its voice. And I could take it down to the bottom. I'll pick up that last stanza too, because I know I'm just messing with you, actually. Look closer. This terrain is not stillness. It is living poetry, sprawled and waiting to be read. At first of, it's a beautiful image, and second of all, it's equally as much of a beautiful poem. So, wonderful job, Gray, and thanks for sharing with us. Absolutely loved it.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. I have to agree. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, I mean, just from the very beginning of this poem, he nailed that image. She
Mhm.
stretches across the horizon, skin creased with shadow and stone. That is amazing imagery and metaphors. Plus, like you can see within this landscape, these hills and valleys, the idea of the feminine curves within the desert landscape. Um, and great imagery throughout. This is beautifully spiritual. Um, and I thought it had really beautiful lines throughout, but I did especially like those last two stanzas. And especially when it speaks on, that this terrain is not stillness, it is living poetry sprawled and waiting to be read. Like there's a connection that one can form with the land if only they're willing to truly observe it closely. So beautifully written and very well done.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, Monty says that now that he knows we're all bilingual, he will be having his next poem written in Bulgarian. And
Okay.
yes, in which case I told him he better be making a recording.
All right. Honest to heavens.
Uh,
Hmm. I really like this poem, though. I really did. Very
Absolutely.
much. Very much.
Absolutely. Yes.
You get that Bulgarian one. Don't you worry, Monty. We'll fix you right up. Yes, we will. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't. If I've never seen Bulgarian, but I'm wondering if with being able to read some German, if it's like don't want to. I know it's not the same language, but I wonder if there isn't like parts of it that are at least close that I might be able to get through some of it. You know.
Right, right. I'd fake it. That's what I would have to do. I'd just have to fake it, and I'd have to use a
Yeah,
silly voice
fake
to
it
do it.
until you make it.
Yeah, I'd have to
Yes.
put on a silly voice too, so nobody thought I was trying to be serious, because I wouldn't have a clue where to begin.
Oh
Ah,
my goodness, me neither. Me neither.
I'd have to make a
But I
recording of Google Translate reading it to me.
yes, I do like what Amy Lynn had to say about Gray's poem, which is, this was beautiful. The personification of the earth as a woman and a man, a play on creation, maybe. Love the ending. And I think that's a really good point that it is, the idea of, okay, Bulgarian is nothing like German. Got it.
Yeah,
So then that wouldn't help me in the least.
there
Like
you
I said,
go.
I'd never seen it. So
It's way far from English too. That would be my problem.
yeah, I definitely figured it was far from English.
Oh God. Jojo says, but if you speak Macedonian, you're all set. Oh my God.
Aha,
Yeah, I that's right. Easy peasy then, right? No,
easy
I don't think
peasy.
so. I don't think so. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Way
But
too crazy. No.
all right, I better go ahead and grab the next one. And oops, let me try this again. All right. Up next, we have 5 by Denise Semlet, SC6. And Jean, whenever you're ready, give that a read for us.
Sure. Let me. What is this doing now? Y'all better knock it off. Okay. I sent it on its merry way. I can come over here now. 5 by Denise Semlet, C6. Wooden cousins of vibrant melody, brought to live by carving artists, like the flour for bread, the trade a bridge for to symphony, harmonious and lively connection, wild and noble, a figure of 8, violin jealousy, a magic melody stick, guitar envy. Different souls share one journey, different sounds share one melody. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. And what a wonderful brevity by Denise. This I had to go look at prompt 5, which was it very much looks like a still life of a violin and a fiddle, or maybe it's 2 violins. Either way, it's 2 stringed instruments. I really like the personification in this with a figure of 8, violin, jealousy. But beautifully written couplets, wonderful imagery and metaphor. I really like how it becomes a comparison. The comparison of the 2 different stringed instruments becomes a representation for a comparison of 2 people who are similar and so, yet at the same time so different. And I think that definitely comes across throughout the entire brevity, but especially in that end couplet. Different souls share one journey, different sounds share one melody. Wonderful lines by Denise Semlet, SC6, and very well done. And your thoughts, Jean?
Well, I liked this piece. I did. I had to go and look at the image myself because, like, what am I reading about? And I saw that you had a place for pre-writes, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a pre-write. So I had to go and look, and I had to guess it was prompt 5. See, my brain was working. Ow, ow, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ouch, sorry. I like how she started. When you look at the image, you kind of catch on a little closer. Not that you absolutely have to see the image to make sense of the poem, but in my mind it clicked, and I went, wait, that's a clever idea there. Um, Wooden cousins of vibrant melody, brought to live by carving artists, like this flour for bread, the trade a bridge to symphony, a harmonious and lively connection, wild and noble. And I'm like, okay. And then when I got down to the end, I love the last set of couplets. Different souls share one journey, different sounds share one melody, and it's very true. I mean, you have so many different instruments, but they can all share that same melody. And I thought that was a great ending line, or 2 great ending lines for this poem. But yeah, nice take on the prompt, well penned and clever thoughts throughout. And yeah, I think it was a nice piece. So excellent job, and thanks for sharing with us, Denise.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree. Great comment. And let's see, gonna grab the next one, which is getting back to where I need to be. Sorry. All right, it is I Believe Everything I Read and Hear by Time Teller. And whenever you're ready, Jean, we have a SoundCloud for that.
Yes, we do. Now you got to give me 1 minute because I'm still a little bit behind here, and I'm not going to lie about it. Okay, so that's done. So now I go back and let me go find Time Teller's piece. Got the link. Okay, cruising over. Yep. Dropping it in. Hit and paste. Hit and go. Go in there, find the thing. Here we go. I'm hitting the button now.
His mum's back bedroom somewhere in Bognor Regis. A radio hisses. A host is singing Play Our Song in West Country accent as a cat bites a dog with a people-pleasing wagging tail in his mum's back bedroom in a town called Bognor Regis. Mum's back bedroom in a town a king once visited. He sits and reads the papers. Somewhere in Bognor Regis, he tuts and grunts and stutters with anger at an editorial or topics on a radio chat show. Oh, stop fighting, he says to the cat, leave the poor dog alone, as a radio chat host throws out a sentence, a paragraph, a question designed to bait. He jumps from his chair, his red sheet flying, a dog with a great bloody bone. I'll show him, I'll tell him what it's like, all these things happening here at night, hooligans and cars, stormy weather and people from Mars. I'll teach him, the young whippersnapper, a thing or two. You see, I might be a bloke in his mum's back bedroom somewhere in sunny Bognor Regis, but I ain't, I promise I ain't the butt of your jokes, and sure do know a thing or two. I know this is true, others say I'm a know-all, so they're bugger bloody you. You listen to them others as they agree with your word. What was it I said that sat on top of your nerves? Is it because I resent all the others while I sit here in my mother's back bedroom somewhere in sunny Bognor Regis? Cat, leave the dog alone and find me the bloody phone. I'm calling tonight about boy races outside in the street all bloody night. I'm phoning about boats, invasion upon the bloody beaches, and this population that's exploding from here to John O'Groats. Well, fight them on the beaches, you little wokey peaches. Don't say things have got any better. I'm the bloke from a back bedroom window that looks across Bognor Regis, and I ain't seeing nothing yet. I'll write you a letter, email when I know how to send, WhatsApp you a sermon or a bloody text message. Is your name Len? Dear radio host Len. Imagine to my surprise that upon turning the radio on to keep the cat and dog company, I was paranoidally, pleasantly surprised to hear you say the man in his mum's back bedroom in a town called Bognor Regis. And imagine to my surprise, just like this, the cat smacked the dog ate my clogs, and I got so tense, went to sleep and dreamt you were making sense. Then I woke to see, unlike me, a bloke in his mum's back bedroom in some place we call sunny Bognor Regis, where a king you know once came. You don't know nothing, cause you're just a bloke, a radio host that I listen to here in sunny Bognor by the sea.
Oh, now that was just clever and entertaining. I got a big smile out of that. Great write by Time Teller, with a wonderful choice of audio to go with the words. Thank you very much for the SoundCloud, Time Teller. It is very much appreciated. And just a reminder, everyone, if you're unable to call in, the next best thing is to make a recording of your poem, because then we get to hear your poetry in your voice, or how you would like it to be presented. I like the language of this, the dialect, the kind of almost a back and forth, but it's a back and forth between two people who are never going to, who don't speak to each other. It's the person who's listening to the radio show host, and the radio show host who's just making assumptions about people out there. I think, to me anyways, part of what this poem speaks on is the assumptions that people make. I also thought the title was great. I believe everything I read and hear, which goes really well with that image of the elderly man reading a newspaper, which, by the way, that is actually Carrington's father. And I don't know, this just has great imagery. I like how he brings in the term whippersnapper. I'll show him, I'll tell him what it's like, all these things happening here at night, hooligans and cars, stormy weather, and people from Mars. I'll teach him, the young whippersnapper, a thing or two, and I like that. And, I like the stanza starts with, I'm calling tonight about boy racers outside in the streets all bloody night. I'm phoning about boats, invasion upon invasion upon the bloody beaches, and this population that's exploding from here to John O'Groats. Really clever and entertaining lines, quite a bit of food for thought. But it is interesting how easy it is for people to believe something just because it's in print, and how it makes you think about the importance of doing your research and listening to different views and different thoughts to gain some perspective. But wonderful, right? And very well done. And your thoughts, Jean?
I thought again this was a clever piece penned. I found it intriguing, a fun piece, a great audio. The audio kind of was so bouncy all the way through. I was like, whoa, 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 and all of a sudden it get fast, and I'd be like, oh no, what am I doing? So I was trying to like catch up and keep up, but that's okay. It wasn't a bad thing. It was just, I was kind of unexpected for me. Um, I kind of picked it up here. Mom's back bedroom in a town a king once visited. He sits and reads the papers. Somewhere he buggered Wagner Regis. He tuts and grunts and stutters with anger at the editorial or topics on the radio chat show. I started laughing. I said, which one of us is he pointing at? I couldn't help it. I just couldn't help it. And I picked up the next two stanzas after that as well. It was just, I thought it was just clever. He captured the image nicely. But again, it doesn't absolutely have to have that image to follow through, because he did this as such a great ekphrastic piece. Because most of the things he spoke about are not even in the image. But that first piece I just read, that little bit, he captures the image, and then it goes on from there. And he talks about him. He jumps from the chair in his red sheet flying. Well, that's okay. It was feasible in the poem without the image. So I think that was pretty clever and well done. So thank you, Time Teller, for sharing with us. Great job. Great job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree. Wonderful comment.
Trying to see what the boys are doing. Jojo and Robbie said they were going to call in at the second hour, and Robbie has.
Yeah, well, Robbie did message me and say he spilled some coffee that made his tablet sticky. So he's not. He has to like wait to call in. So I don't know if he's even going to call in, because he's waiting for his keyboard to unjam. Okay. From spilling coffee. Yes.
Jojo said he's going to be 5 more minutes. So, okay, I just wanted to check in because I didn't want to just ignore them. I knew you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Call, so I'm just trying to follow up. Yeah.
Smart thinking.
Them fellas.
All right.
Keep an eye on them. One
absolutely.
eye on you, one eye on the poetry, and then I wonder why I can't see straight.
I picture you like with green eyes, just circling in all different directions.
Exactly. That's exactly it. They're not doing anything for my prescription. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, up next we have Book of No One by Dotted Lines. And it goes like this. Fingers rigid as if in death, a steepled stance, uncertain grip, like all the prayers he never spoke, a folded regret for all thoughts never wrote. And still he held it, the weight of silence in his palms, the hush of something wrong, pages threadbare, worn, dog-eared corners bent, by every hand that came before, pursed, curious hands, twin oracles of fate. He is next in line to bear the memory of shame. He felt the warning rise, quiet, familiar, urging him to never crack the spine, for such an act would split the threads that stitched his name in time. The book grew warm, its breathing tense, exhaling a fetid foulness, threads of binding slipping free, a severed spine of thoughts revealed within ancestry's tangled web, a spewing of the names before, book back reach like wings, opened wide to gather in, leaving only fear and shadows stirring between the pages of who they thought they were. The book knew the rhythm of his pulse, the quickening gasp of breath, graceful swirling ancient script, shaped his name in righteous volation, a man of false, failed will, a legacy bleak with ill intent and greed. It traced the contour of his name before he could even speak it, exposed the fracture in his lineage. Shadows lurked between each thin page, waiting for this moment. Then came the smell of malignant rot, the teeth of rabid hunger, waiting for eager hands to turn the pages meant for no one. Hunger bloomed with voracious need, not wild, not swift, but calculated, cold, and patient, the way a long-starved body salivates before a righteous feast. It gathered in the dark between bone-thin sheets, rustling, simmering, rising, a frenzied need, breath sweet with rancid anticipation, knowing full well the one-course meal would not be the last one. End poem. And I see we have Jojo has joined us. Hello, Joe, glad you could join us.
Hey, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Loud and clear. And would you like to comment and share some thoughts on Book of No One by Dotted Lines?
Sure. I was just writing Dottie a comment. I love how dark this is. It's got that. It's kind of got like this feeling for me of when I was a kid. We would visit my grandparents, and they had a big basement where lots of interesting stuff used to take place. Way back, they had servants. Many of them were Chinese immigrants, and they kind of lived in the basement. And it was a huge basement. And they would smoke opium down there. And so the basement always smelled of opium. But later, it became sort of a storage area where, like all of the old, just tons and tons of old family memorabilia were stored. And I remember as a kid going down there. I was a huge reader, and so I would just go through all of the old books and photo albums. And so this had this weird kind of a dark memory for me of my grandparents' basement, and like going through like the old family Bibles. They had like 10 family Bibles, and there would be all of these little written notes in the margins and photos stuck in, and you learn a lot about your family doing that. And that's what I think this poem kind of did for me the most.
I like that, and I can definitely see that. It does kind of have that kind of dark, haunting atmosphere to it. So, great observation. And Jean, your thoughts?
Well, I thought this was nicely penned all the way through. A good take on the show is impromptu, and I love the imagery, and I thought there was many nice stanzas. Great stanzas, good stanzas, nice stanzas, wonderful stanzas. Any way you want to say it, I mean, I really think they all fit. I picked it up right from the beginning, though. Fingers rigid, as if in death. A steepled stance, uncertain grip. like all the prayers he never spoke, a folded regret for all thoughts never wrote. And still he held it, the weight of silence in his palms, the hush of something wrong. Pages, threadbare, worn, dog-eared, corners bent by every hand that came before. Yeah, and there was more and more and more, to this that I could have chosen from. But I like the description of the book. Uh, how it had been worn and it was an old book, and it kind of got that point across. And I think that was a great way to start and capture the reader's attention. So, thanks for sharing with us, Dottie. Much appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, I thought this had really strong imagery throughout and metaphor. It just is one of those rights that instantly grabs your attention and keeps it. Um, the line, the first line, fingers rigid as if in death. I mean, because he is, he's reading a book, but he is laid back in such a way that if it wasn't for the book, the hands holding the book, you would think this was a picture of someone who was dead. Um, and I like how, to me, it speaks on the reverence that he has for the book, on the importance of opening it and gathering knowledge from it, but with the understanding that you treat it with a gentleness. There's such a sense of reverence, such a sense of love for this, um, for the book and for what it carries within it, how it can speak on history. There's an eagerness to, have this feast of words, to gorge yourself on it over and over again. And there really is great lines throughout. But I did especially like it traced the contour of his name before he could even speak it, exposed the fracture in his lineage. Shadows lurked between each thin page, waiting for this moment. And then the last two stanzas also very strong and visceral and really well done by Dotted Lines.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And up next, we have Once Upon a Time I Had a Horse by Minnie B. And Jean, would you go ahead whenever you're ready and give that a read for us?
Sure thing. Once upon a time, I had a horse. Neat image. Looks like something out of a fairy tale. Once upon a time, I had a horse. He was powerful and so strong, strong enough to hold a knight in full armor, sword and shield, riding to fight ogres and fiery dragons, strong enough to carry a crusader decked in all red dressage, through field and forest, traveling from England to the Holy Land, strong enough to pull a plow across a farmer's field, turning over fertile soil, preparing for a rich fall harvest. My horse could have been anything, done anything, but he was all mine. Once upon a time I had a horse. He was furious and so fast, fast enough to chase bandits over rocky passage, through sagebrush, and across the prairie before they could rob a stagecoach, fast enough to run in the Kentucky Derby, starting at the rear and overtaking all others, to stand in the winner's circle, with a wreath of roses around his neck, fast enough to swiftly take a patriot hero on a midnight ride to warn colonists, one if by land, two if by sea. My horse could have been anything, done anything, but he was all mine. Once upon a time I had a horse. He was mostly white and with nuanced dapples of gray, and so beautiful. So beautiful that he was asked to star in a feature film, a heroic horse, bravely battling in combat, a box office hit and Oscar nominated. So beautiful that a famous French artist used him as a model, carefully carving his likeness in wood to exquisitely adorn a calliope in Paris. So beautiful that whenever he went, artists painted him, photographers took pictures of him, his image appearing on magazine covers across the country. My horse could have been anything, done anything, but he was all mine. His name was Thunder Boy. He rode the wind like thunder. He was strongest and fastest, the most beautiful horse there ever was or will be. I watered him, fed him, and groomed him. I put him to bed at night, and every afternoon he waited for me at my school bus stop to carry me home. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. This is such a, to me, a delightful and smile-inducing write by Minnie B. And John, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I mean, so I love how sweet and innocent this is. It's it and how sort of this make believe world is so it's so real uh, to Thunder Boy, and it kind of reminds me of Winnie the Pooh in a lot of ways. That kind of innocent, childlike make believe that is like clearly make believe to the reader, but clearly not make believe to the child. And I really like this. This is really sweet and innocent. I think this could like be the foundation for a really good like children's story, like Winnie the Pooh.
Mm.
Really nicely done.
Yes.
Also, I had a horse when I was a kid. It didn't go off and fight any big battles with me, but she was definitely big because I was young, and she was strong because I was a kid, and she felt like she was big enough to hold a knight with full armor and a shield, even though really she could mostly just hold my mom and me as we rode her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wonderful memory. That is. Great comment, John. And Jean, your thoughts?
Absolutely. You know, when I said it reminded me of a fairy tale image, I meant that from like an old fairy tale book. Nothing
Mm,
current,
mm.
because it really had that vibe to me. And it's just funny that when I started to read it, I'm like, oh, see. I did like this very much. I thought it was a great piece penned. Nice take on the chosen prompt, and I enjoyed each stanza and the story she came up with in the poem. She starts out in the first place. Once upon a time, I had a horse. He was powerful and so strong enough to hold a knight in full armor, sword and shield. I like that. And then the next one, once upon a time, I had a horse. He was furious and so fast enough to chase bandits over rocky passage through sagebrush. And I mean, each one was just, I don't know, there was something about it that I just liked. It's like the beginning of three short stories, and then we come to his name was Thunder Boy. And then we get into the reality of, who the horse really was. And I think that was, I just liked it. And as I say, I thought that each stanza kind of could have been the beginning to a short story all its own. And I think it's wonderful that she got that kind of inspiration from the image. So very well done, Minnie B. And thanks for sharing with us tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's wonderful. I mean, it's got that nostalgic feeling, the idea of the imaginary friend that's a horse. I do like what she said in her AN. This painting has a fairy tale vibe and reminded me of an imaginary horse I rode home from my school bus every day for most of the school year when I was about 8. I like that. And you can definitely capture that. She definitely captures that, the idea of as a child, traveling all over with your imagination, and just really great imagery, fun lines. I like the repetition of once upon a time and my horse. I think that really works well. And I just enjoyed reading this throughout, and it was very well done by Minnie B.
Absolutely.
All right. Very cool. And
Yipper doodles.
up next, we have Bah Humbug by Monty G25. And whenever you're ready, John, go ahead and give that a read for us.
All right. Cobbler submitted Bah Humbug by Monty G. Well, I'm going to sit here as long as I like. I done told you all this is what I wear when I ride my bike. Y'all can call me a grumpy old fart if you want. I ain't getting changed to look like no cycling debutante. Yeah, I don't care much for y'all much either. And besides, y'all don't look special like one neither. Y'all betcha I dressed up the same at school. And y'all can say I'm as stubborn as a crazy mule. Mama done told me in this life y'all don't have to be a puppet. And I didn't care much if the teacher called me a muppet. Yeah, sticks and stones can sure break my bits. But calling me names don't do nothing but give me the rhymes with bits. I'm telling y'all this is what I'm wearing on that bike. And if y'all don't like it, y'all can take a frickin' hike. So garn, get on your bikes, you miserable swines. I done heard enough of your low-down whines. Hardy har har, sticks and stones will break my bones. But calling me names is just downright stupid groans. I ain't listening anyways, so knock yourself out to bits. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Y'all give me the still rhymes with bits. I'll be sitting here happy as a meerkat, you miserable swines. Garn now, on your bikes and stop all your whines. I ain't got nothing more to say except on your bike. Go play on the freeway and knock yourselves out if you like. Garn, now get, I tell you, before I start to bark. Come on now, get moving, else I'll bite y'all like a shark. Wish I had my new teeth set in. Then I give y'all a goodbye grin. Y'all come back now here. End poem.
Great read there, John. I got a huge kick out of this one. What a fun write by Monty G. And Jean, your thoughts?
I thought that this was funny. The last thing I would have thought is the woman in that image being on a bike. I can't help it. I was like, huh? You know, I kind of saw the picture and I scrolled past. And when John was reading it, I scrolled back up and I went, okay. You know, it really took me by surprise. Um, uh, yeah, I don't care much for y'all much either. Inside, y'all don't look special like one neither. Y'all betcha I dressed up the same way, the same at school. And y'all can say I'm as stubborn as a crazy mule. She got that look in her eye. Mama done told me in this life y'all don't have to be a puppet. I didn't care much if the teacher called me a muppet. Yeah, sticks and stones can sure break my bits. But calling me names don't do nothing but give me the rhymes with bits. Yeah, this is pretty funny. Nice job, Monty. And yeah, I got a good chuckle out of it. So well done.
Oh, absolutely. Great comment, Jean. And John, your thoughts?
Oh, this is so much fun.
Hmm.
And it's actually a little challenging to read when when it's written that way. Because it's the language is English enough, but it's also just kind of tweaked enough that you have to really pay attention. So I was really struggling to keep with the voice of the character. I love the resistance. This is somebody who's literally leading the resistance. It's a biker. I assume it's motorcycle, but maybe it's a bike. I was reading it and not paying enough attention, but I'm imagining it's a motorcycle. So I'm imagining a biker, and just sort of like riding by on his motorcycle, like yelling at everybody, and maybe with a fist in the air, just sort of that, like Billy Joel's the angry young man kind of a feel to it, I guess. But yeah, I love the resistance and the refusal to, kind of let somebody else dress them, shall I say. So I love it. Really great job, Cobbler.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, John. Yeah, I really like that end line with y'all come back now you hear from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
That was great, but it was great throughout. I enjoyed the use of a Southern dialect. Amy actually says, she says, I can't, as a Southerner, these non-Southern accents are cracking me up. Very
Yeah.
funny poem.
Yep.
Oh, I get a kick out of that. But I liked your observations. I actually honestly took this as just riding a bike only because of the time period of the painting and how at one point it was considered scandalous for women to ride bikes. So I imagine her being this old lady in like the kind of close to or Victorian or Edwardian time period going, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to ride a bike. And but either way, it definitely has that rebellious attitude. It has that, that attitude of, you know what, your words don't hurt me. I'm going to be who I want to be. I'm going to have the attitude that I want to have. And it's just got these fun creative lines throughout, and very well done. All right. And up next, we have The Music and Love of Eleanor and John by Rosewinter 515. And it goes like this. Eleanor and John were born in 1751, in the early years of Great Britain, when England, Scotland, and Wales were learning to live as one kingdom under one crown. Their homes were English, with gardens full of herbs and apple trees, but their world was British, a land newly joined, hopeful and full of quiet change. They grew up in the same village, only a few lanes apart. Each morning they learned their letters at their kitchen tables with scripture beside them and the soft hum of hymns in the air. Their parents taught them that Jesus wanted hearts to be gentle, hands to be helpful, and voices to be full of love. And always there was music. Eleanor sang as she helped in the garden. John practiced his violin by the window, the notes drifting out like bird song. They walked the same paths, heard the same church bells, and shared the same simple faith. As they grew older, they learned side by side, reading, writing, singing, and tending the earth. John taught Eleanor little melodies on the violin. Eleanor taught John the name of flowers and how to listen for God in the quiet of the garden. They were never far from one another and never wished to be. When they turned 21, they were married in the village chapel. The hymn, Love Divine, All Loves Excelling, filled the room with joy, and everyone said they had never seen two people more perfectly matched. Their home soon became a place where poets, painters, and musicians loved to visit. Young romantic artists found peace in Eleanor's gentle welcome and inspiration in John's soft violin tunes. Sometimes a poet would read a new verse by the fire. Sometimes a painter would sketch the orchid in the evening light. Everyone said there was something holy in that house, a quietness that made beauty easier to see. John taught music in the village school and wrote his own hymns, shaped by Wesley's teaching and the kindness in his heart. Eleanor tended the garden, sang while she worked, and taught their children, Charles, Amy, and Louise, that Jesus' love was like sunlight, warm, steady, and meant for everyone. As the years passed, grandchildren filled the garden with running feet and happy shouts. They learned their first hymns from John's violin and Eleanor's gentle singing. And always, always, Eleanor and John walked through life together. End poem. Well, that is a beautiful, beautiful write by Rose Winter 515. And Jean, your thoughts?
I really liked this piece. It was a nice story, uh, and nicely written. I thought it was well done. Um, I assume this is the same image that we had in an earlier poem for the with the violin and the guitar in view. Um, I have to say, I picked this one up here. Their home soon became a place where poets, painters, and musicians loved to visit. Young romantic artists found peace in Eleanor's gentle welcome and inspiration in John's soft violin tunes. Sometimes a poet would read a new verse by the fire. Sometimes a painter would sketch the orchard in the evening light. Everyone said there was something holy in that house, a quietness that made beauty easier to see. And I picked up the next stanza as well. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But John taught music in the village school, and I thought that was a nice addition to the piece itself. So well written story there, Rose Winter 515, and thanks for sharing with us as always.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree. Wonderful comment, Jean. And John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a gorgeous. I wouldn't call it a poem so much as more prose, I guess. And I think it seems to be part of a larger story that's maybe ongoing because the AN says part of my fictional history of Eleanor and her times. So it reads to me as a gorgeous little vignette of like historical fiction and taking place in the mid 1700s, so the 18th century. I'm not sure that I would say 1751 was in the early years of Great Britain, but close enough, I guess. I like the this kind of there's this nice devotional kind of a theme to it, and I like the music, the theme of music kind of recurring over and over again. And yeah, what else would I say about it? I don't know. I guess what I get from it the most is just this sense of love and devotion through lots of little details of the ordinary life and all of the things that they do together, like John teaching Eleanor little melodies on the violin, and Eleanor teaching John the names of flowers and how to listen for God in the quiet of the gardens. I get this sense of like a shared life being built and a shared love being built. So I think it's really gorgeous that way.
Oh, absolutely. Great comment there. Yeah, I love the attention to detail. I love how this speaks on the idea of the love that two people have for each other, but also the love they have for their community and their family, and the way their spiritual beliefs and music bind them together. Just absolutely, like you said, John, it's beautifully written historical fiction, and just wonderful lines throughout, very heartfelt and nicely done by Rose Winter 515. All right, and up next we have do 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 beginning by Come Again. And Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
Yes, ma'am. Hang on one second. Had to go and get the link.
All right.
Boy, T. Manzano, he makes a cure seem worse than the illness by reading what he had to say over there.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure I did what I was supposed to do. Okay, good. I have a short attention span. Nothing unusual. Beginning by come again. Words start getting in a line. Quick ass sand. Quick. Words start getting in a line. Wow. Let me start again. Second time. Beginning by come again. Words start getting in a line. Quick as sand. As worlds collide. Strangers sailing in the midst of the ghosts of fears and dreams. Who can tell in the dim light if the waves of joy or fright stand to wash the boat away, or if reason will prevail? End poem.
Great read, Jean. And
Which one? The first read, the second read, or the third read? Which one did you like best?
I feel like they just got progressively better.
Thank God. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Come Again is a new name to me, so it's always good to see a new name. I'm glad that they were inspired to share something with us. Nicely written brevity with strong imagery and metaphors. And I like how this speaks to me on the idea of reasoning, chasing away our fears. So nicely written and very well done. And John, your thoughts?
Well, so I was thinking I probably need to hear Jean read it again. Maybe two more times, Jean. Can you do that?
I only read the first 2 lines 3 times.
Okay.
That's it. I draw the line at the first 3 lines. Now, would you like?
Yeah.
Would you like me to be creative, or would you like me to read what he wrote?
Read it backwards.
Okay. Clyde World says sand as quick. Line in getting started. Start words. I didn't even do that right. There you go. That was the best I had.
Yeah, so this is a cute little brevity. Well, I shouldn't say cute like it's non-substantial. Sorry. This is a nice little brevity that I think talks about writing as a creative process. Words start getting in a line. And the first stanza has the sailor, the stranger sailing in the mist. So it's a little misty. And then it kind of gets to the volta. Who can tell in the dim light if the waves of joy or fright? So there's this kind of like misty dimness that then kind of needs to give way to some kind of reason that is, where the writing actually begins to take form, I guess, is the way that I'm reading it. And, so, is this going to be a poem about grief? Is it going to be a poem about love or joy or what? And that second stanza is sort of like the big reveal. So I think this is a really strong brevity, and I like it a lot. It doesn't try to do too much. It does just the right amount.
Right.
End comment.
Absolutely.
That's my line. Watch it, man. Only when I'm home is Rex. Or Pam. Is it Pam? You're the one I have to do it to. Yes.
Right?
That or
Right?
thank you for sharing with us tonight. Oh, my 2 Qs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comments.
Too funny.
And up next, we have The Room Kept Its Booking by T.S. Jojo. And Jojo, whenever you're ready, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
All right. The Room Kept Its Booking by Jojo. You ended it in August, and the room kept its booking. The bed was made too tightly, sheets tucked hard under the mattress. I stood there with the kettle on, doing our pretense badly. Too much water, not enough flame. The grate smelled of last night's smoke, damp kindling, and the small brass shovel. I lifted it once, black dust, a burnt match, a twist of peel. No reason for the peel. That was the worst thing, the peel. Small, orange, with one bright edge still refusing the soot. I put it back, I shut the fire guard too hard. In the garden, the table stayed out, breadboard, knife, the blue plate with the crack through it. The cheese had sweated under its cloth. The butter softened. A fly kept coming back to the jam as if sweetness had survived us. You would have laughed. In the guest book, your married name carried on, as if the hand were only late. Lovely fire, good bread, quiet room. Thank you. Milk. The last word was milk. Nothing holy about it. Just milk. Leaning right, the K gone thin where the pen was running out. I took the book inside. When I found it, there was a receipt pressed flat between September and October. I touched it and made it worse. That is mostly what I do now. I buy brie because you liked brie, and then let it fur in the fridge. The house does not care. Dust comes back on the mantle. Ash settles behind the basket. Something small has nested in the chimney. At night, I hear it shift and think, for half a second, you are turning in the next room. Then not. Then the whole house goes very ordinary again. In March, I found the hamper list in the biscuit tin. Sourdough, cheddar, thick cream. Your thumbprint dark on the paper. Ash or butter, I do not know. I bought nothing. I held the list until the corners softened. Outside, the garden table was waiting. Not kindly, not cruelly, just wet, open, set for two, ready for whatever could still be pretended. End poem.
Wonderful read and write here, John. I'm really glad you were inspired to share this with us. And Jean, your thoughts.
I thought this was a wonderful piece, John. I love the all the imagery you have in it, all the wonderful thoughts. And I looked here at your author's notes. There's no grand revelation. Only the life two people have made in fragments. Well, let me go back up to the top a minute. Rewind. The poem treats the guest book as an accidental journal, a public record of a love that could only exist in barred rooms. There's no grand revelation, only the life two people made in fragments: bread, milk, ash, peel, a cracked plate, a thumbprint. The ordinary things become evidence. Afterward, the room keeps their appointment. The handwriting keeps speaking, and the table remains set for whatever can still be pretended. I think that the author's notes adds a little bit more depth to the piece. Although I love the piece. There's so many great lines in this, and I got to say I picked it up here. I thought this was a great section. Not that anything was bad about any of the other parts. In the guest book, your married name carried on, as if the hand were only late. Lovely fire, good bread, quiet room. Thank you. Milk. The last word was milk. Nothing holy about it. Just milk, leaning right, the K gone thin, where the pen was running out. I thought they were great lines. I just think that there was such imagery throughout, and it was just enough to carry the thoughts in your head, in your meaning the reader's head. You know, and it just kind of, I don't know, it had a certain quality to it. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I want to explain it, but I think that it kind of created something all its own when the person read it or when I read it. But very well done, very well done. and it's kind of, you just left it open enough for everyone to read and interpret on their own. I guess that's what I really liked. But well done and nicely written. And was this one of the prompts or just a poem? I don't want to
So
keep my.
so I wrote this. I wasn't sure which. There were two contests I wanted to submit it to, and I submitted it to both. I submitted it to
Gotcha.
Pam because she allowed pre-writes at the last minute,
Right.
and for that it was prompt 9, I think.
Okay.
I was thinking about the book and you know what kind of family secrets the book might contain, and
This
so
is the one with the man that we saw before.
I think the
Oh,
same
yes.
one Scotty did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be sure because I was like, I figured maybe it could have been a pre-write, and then the book I was like, well, maybe she had another image with the book, so I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
But great job.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, I really enjoy the way your lines stagger and flow down the page. Very strong imagery. I like how this speaks to me on the idea of everyday life creating both the beauty and the mess that people share together. It feels, it's definitely very atmospheric. It feels like looking back at in time of like what once was. The simplicity of life that makes it so beautiful. The facing the challenges, the small messes that oftentimes needs to come, be cleaned up and yet keeps coming back, and I thought there was strong lines throughout, but I really liked the house does not care. Dust comes back on the mantle. Ash settles behind the basket. Something small has nested in the chimney. At night, I hear it shift and think for half a second you are turning into the next room, then not. Then the whole house goes very ordinary again. Wonderful, heartfelt lines and very well done. And did you want to say anything about your poem, John?
Well, so this was I wrote it for two contests, and so the other one was sort of about a book of I wanted to do like family secrets, kind of a journal based contest, but it also fit this contest, and since this contest allowed pre-writes, I actually wrote it, as a new write for the other contest, and then submitted it here as a pre-write. I guess I kind of have been feeling like I want to get back into my enamored writing, my love for Louise Gluck, and so I was kind of going for a Gluck-like approach here with lots and lots of just ordinary, everyday, domestic objects, kind of trying to build them to the ending. So that's what I was going for. But I also, so this is about two married people that got together regularly in a bed and breakfast, and so for me, I think I was trying to target it toward Carrington's views of let's say sexuality, and I mean she had some pretty interesting affairs during her time when it was just not something that women did, and so I've always really admired her steadfast devotion to her lifestyle at a time when it was probably not in her best interest to. So to me, she's like an extraordinary feminist long before feminism was a thing. So I kind of was also writing toward that attitude of hers.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree. Great comment there. Not great. Well, it was a great comment, but thank you for sharing that with us. Absolutely. And our last poem for the night, and then we'll have some carryovers for another show, is The Stormy Sea by David Meyerhoff. The boat rocks and sways in the dark of night, wind howling like in chillier theater. No sight of the living for miles by the light of the crescent moon. creaking and banging. Sailor Tom spits up his lunch, working on dinner. Foam in the water, the sea covered with vomit, heaving towards the weary crew. Sailor Pete down below hears the hull bang as the boat smacks each wave, and all tremble. To be lost at sea, not to be heard from again. If only we knew when our last gasp will be, we would prepare properly and set the table of life with our finest, a proper send off for a life well lived. No regret or neurotic caution, living on our terms, exiting by the ocean. The 28-foot cabin cruiser swallowed whole. I hope the sea doesn't choke. And poem. What an absolutely brilliant and clever write by David Meyerhoff. Definitely a pre-write that fit well with the imageries of the ships on the ocean. And John, your thoughts?
Um, yeah, so I had to look up Chiller Theater. It was a late night horror and science fiction movie program on Channel 11 in Pittsburgh. So I didn't know about that. So I'm really glad I learned something. But I really like the this mix of dark humor and impending danger that is done so well all the way through. I love the Sailor Tom spits up his lunch working on dinner. It's like anybody that's ever been on a boat in kind of any kind of weather will just totally get that image. It's fantastic, and I loved the 28-foot cabin cruiser swallowed whole. I hope the sea doesn't choke. The ending just makes me laugh every time I read it.
Oh yes,
yeah, and also the no regret or neurotic caution, as if caution can be neurotic when you're on a ship.
Yeah, that was a really great juxtaposition,
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Wonderful details in this poem for sure. And great comment there, John. And Jean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was a nice piece and a good match for the prompt. For being a pre-write, it definitely worked. I enjoyed the humor in it as well. Um, that was for sure. Um, and I did like the ending lines as well, John. John,
Yep.
my lips aren't working. Nothing's working. Yes. Imagine if I wasn't sober. Um, good God. Uh, I picked it up here to be lost at sea, not to be heard from again. If only we knew when our last gasp will be, we could prepare properly and set the table of life with our
Being
finest.
on a ship, how it's not all just this perfect flowing vacation where everything's going well. It's hard work. It can make you sick. It can be a horrifying experience. And it's a reminder that, I like how this poem offers up a reminder that we never know when the end will come, and that we need to live life to the fullest and face it head on. So just an amazing write by David Meyerhoff, and very well done. So this has been a great show tonight. Our three carryovers will be Jackson D. Gargar Jr., Budo, and Lena 61. Thank you. You can join Phasiana and Babbler in less than a half hour for part sinner, part saint. Thank you, as always, Jean, for being my twisted sister. Thank you to Julie Buck and JoJo for calling in. Thank you to Monty, Robbie, Amy, Tim, and everyone else who hung on the board. Thank you to everyone who is listening now or will be listening later. And of course, thank you to everyone who provided rights for the show. We truly appreciate you all. Make sure to keep an eye out on the contests and topic boards put up by Late Night Poets host and hostesses, because you're sure to find something to inspire. And have a good night, everyone.
Good night, all.